Hey everybody, thought I'd do a video today for my friend Ryan over at Ryan's Garage for good iRacing and ACC videos. Definitely check him out, his channel is really cool. I'm going to work on some setups for him here today, qualifying and a race setup for the BMW M4 GT3. My personal best here in the Lexus is 1 minute 42 seconds 0.843. We're gonna be as Augusto Farfus today. I picked him because I watched a video on YouTube of him taking his girlfriend around the Nordschleife in a BMW, and it was really entertaining. So if you want to watch something really funny, go check him out on YouTube. But yeah, let's get in and see what we can do. Okay, let's pick the qualifying setup. So that's my tire page. That's the electronics page. Fuel page, I found 9 liters is about the sweet spot for doing an outlap and 2 hot laps for qualifying. You might maybe want to try bumping it up to 10 because sometimes I'm only at half a liter on at the end of the second lap, but that's your choice. Mechanical grip, steering ratio 12:1. Damper page, pretty symmetrical except for I lowered the bump and the fast bump on the right side because of the second to last corner. There's a killer curve there. Sometimes when you hit that, that's the end of your race. So I tried to soften up the right front of the car to kind of better absorb that if I make a mistake. There's my aero page. My front aero variations at 2.5%. So let's go see if we can beat my record in the Lexus.
Green light, go, go, go.
So on the outlap, I usually only go about 80 to 90%. Tires are cold, you need to get them warm without killing yourself, ruining your qualifying effort.
cars.
fast lap. Let's take a look at that and analyze it. Okay, so let's get out of the garage. Okay, so we're gonna follow this for the first 2 laps, and then I'll do a step-by-step braking points and turn-in points on the fast lap. Let's slow this down because this is the important part of the beginning of the lap. What you want to do is you want to straddle this apex, and just as it starts to straighten out, get back on the throttle here. Let's put the HUD up. There we go. So you can see my throttle inputs and stuff. Okay, so we're going to let it run out wide, but you don't want to go too much over. You don't want the left side of the car going over this white line or you'll get an out of bounds. So let's let that play. I like to try to stay close to this wall and just miss it coming down here. Okay, now this white line right here on the track, that is my braking point. I brake hard and I steer towards the apex of the corner as I'm downshifting. Still hard on the brakes here. Trying to get the car slowed down. And then right here I just want to start getting up on this curbing to help me rotate through the apex. And now as I do that, you can see I'm starting to pick up the throttle here a bit. And then I'm letting the car kind of drift out a bit, but I want to catch it. And once I catch it, I want to come back over to this side of the track because that sets you up through these S's right here. And you want to be more away over on the right hand side of the track here because this curbing, when you're beside it, that's your braking marker to go down into second for this corner. So you want to kind of, here you notice I'm starting to apply the brakes. I'm downshifting as I'm straight, and then as soon as I downshift, I kind of trail brake in to this apex and I start picking up the throttle to kind of balance the car out. You can see I'm a little bit up and down on the throttle there. You want to be, smooth with the inputs, but I was doing that to try and keep the balance because the car was kind of doing a little bit of a slip angle slide there. So we'll fast forward this. Okay, so the braking point, I like to be right on this curb with the left tires, and then as it narrows out there, that's where I start braking really hard. I just start to turn in a bit, and then I downshift. And when I downshift, I'm just searching, see how the car's kind of doing a little bit of a slide. It's slipping, and I'm backing off a bit on the throttle till the car catches. Now the car is starting to catch. I'm opening up the steering a bit, trying to keep it as close to the inside as possible. Now, I actually clipped the grass here a bit, which normally it would upset the car, but in this instance, it kind of helped the car rotate. So I was able to upshift and get on the throttle early. And then get back over to the right side. Okay, the 50 marker, this paint line, I use that as my braking point. So braking in a straight line down to third, down to second, and then once I get into second, you'll notice I start turning in after that. I'm hunting this black spot on the apex curbing right here. I want to hit that and kind of roll through it. And you can see I'm just starting to pick up the throttle now because I know I'm making it. This apex curbing is going to help rotate the car, and I'll be able to open up my steering so I can go right out wide onto the rumble stripping here. Now, this braking point right here starts at this curbing on the right, this white and red curbing. And then you'll notice I kind of just trail off. I'm aiming to have the left side tires kind of on the crest of this rounded curb, like this curbing here. Okay, as I'm doing that, I'm trying to stay as much left on the track as I can because I want to have a wider entry into this apex. And I also want to try to get my right tires right in this black area as I'm going over it. And if you do that, it'll help the car rotate. And I notice right there that I'm going to be able to make the corner. So I upshift into fourth, and then it's just the opening up the steering. So let's go forward here. And then straighten this part of the track out. Okay, now this little Marshall's shack on the left, I use that. I brake in a straight line. As soon as I'm like just before, I try to brake in a straight line. Sometimes you can let the car kind of, I didn't do it here, but you can let the car kind of drift out over here, and it helps you make the corner a little bit wider so you can carry a little bit more speed through. So just from watching this, I can see that I could probably pick up a little bit more time if I had opened up the entry into this corner a little bit. But anyways, you want to catch this curbing, which helps rotate the car. You'll see I'm kind of opening up the steering a bit, and then I'm back on the throttle here. Going to open up the steering. I'm going to upshift because I don't want the car to get into the higher RPM range because it'll make the car kind of want to spin out there. So I pick second right away, and then we pick up the throttle to full throttle. down here at the bottom of this hill. This is really important section. So right at the underneath the bridge, I brake, or I don't brake, I just start my turn in. Sorry, I don't brake there. So I upshift it into fifth right under the bridge, and I start my turn in because I want to be as far left when I enter the braking zone over here as I can. So I want my left tires basically running down this red and white curbing. So up here, the 100 board is the marker, but it's really hard to like look at that. But there is a paint mark on the track right here. As soon as you see it, you notice I'm starting to brake. As soon as I could see it, I started to brake. And I try to brake along this line until I get to this white paint mark on the track. And then I start my turn in right about there. Like I just start to turn in there. I get down into second. And then once I get into first, I just, same thing. I want to have my right tires on the crown of the curbing, not over it because that'll upset the car. Open up the steering into second. And then this corner right up here. This is the most important corner of the track. You want to be as far left on the curbing as you can. As soon as you hit that white line, you want to stab the brake a little bit when you're in third, like halfway, and start your turn in. Once you start your turn in, you kind of want to ease off and just slowly pick up the throttle till you know that you're past that curb. See, I caught it just a little bit, and that's okay. Once you know you're past that curb, you can go full throttle all the way down to the 50 meter braking board here. Okay, so right before, you'll notice I start braking, and then I try to brake in a straight line. Once I downshift to second, that's when I kind of start my turn in. And then I want to be into first when I clip this one here. You can pretty much straddle this as long as you don't straddle it too much and get it out of bounds. So right there, I'm starting. I know that I'm going to make the corner. I'm starting to pick up the throttle. I'm opening up the steering. I'm aiming for this zoom boom here, so I can get some speed out of the corner. And then once I know the car is settled, I'm going to upshift, and I'm going to allow the car to just drift out over here onto the red and white painted curbing. And then now it's just a drag race to the start finish line. Okay, so yeah, 1:42.267. Let's look at the timetables. Wow, that's a blistering fast lap. Okay, so that's definitely going to be a good qualifying setup for Ryan. So let's go back here. Let's pick the race setup. And we'll load that up. And let's take a look at it. So this is the tire page. You'll notice there's less caster in the race setup. That's because I wanted to kind of battle the loose off under acceleration that this car tends to have. Let's go to the electronics page. I also have a lot more rear toe in it to try to also help that. Electronics, ABS. I went down to 2 for the race setup. It's your preference. You could bump it back up to 3. And so for a 30-minute race with no draft, I calculated that I needed 61 liters to do 30 minutes. And we're using, again, the brake pads 1 because it's only a 30-minute race. There's no endurance race here. They don't have to do a pit stop, so this is the mechanical grip page. Again, steering ratio 13, 12 is what I prefer, but 13 for the race would work also. Maybe be a little bit easier on the front tires. And the damper page. A lot of difference here for the race setup versus the qualifying setup because you kind of want a little bit of a more forgiving car over a 30-minute race. You don't want to be constantly fighting the car trying to kill you. So soften up the suspension a bit all the way around. Makes it easier to drive for a longer period of time. 30 minutes, sometimes you have a little bit of lack of concentration, and you want the car to be a little bit more forgiving, right? So, and finally the aero page, opened up the ducts a bit. Want to try to make the tires last, keep them in their optimum tire temperature and pressure range. So the only difference is for the race setup is my front aero variation is 2.4 instead of 2.5. So yeah, that's it. Let's head out on track and let's put 10 laps and see how it looks. This setup is very forgiving. It doesn't try to kill you too much on corner exit, which I see a lot of guys in the BMW fighting that all the time. So obviously we got a heavier load of fuel, the tires are cold, so we just want to take it easy the first lap or two. Okay, so there you have it. 10 laps with the race setup. Let's take a look here. Return to the garage. Timetables. So, pretty consistent times with the race setup. Pretty happy with that. I hope Ryan is too. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye now.